welcome in to NHL Tonight. First shift for Tuesday, October the 28th, 2025. EJ Hradek here in Secaucus, New Jersey, and at home up in the Boston area is our buddy Billy Jaffe. Jaff, how are you today?
Age, it's been too long, brother. It's been too long. I'm great.
It's only been a few
How are
days.
you? You know
what? Hasn't been that long.
Well, it has. I haven't seen you in a long time.
All right,
but
hopefully I'll see you soon.
I hope so, too. No, This is great. Got the Bruins in Isles a little bit later, so I'll be heading in after that. But looking forward to chatting some NHL the next hour with you, buddy.
Yeah, we got a busy night. Let's bring in our producer, our ace, JD Lindberg, out of the pen. JD, what do you got for us today?
I think I was the only guy who didn't come out of the pen in the 18-inning
That's right. You're the only guy left.
I'm fresh for today, though.
That's right. You are.
Well, hey, before you guys get into everything, First Shift, we're available as a podcast as well. Always love to promote that. Our friends who listen to us on YouTube and YouTube Music. Of course, we love you to join us right here on NHL Network Monday through Friday, starting at 4 Eastern, as well as on Sportsnet up in Canada. Packed show, you guys. There's a lot of games tonight each. Get us into it.
All right, first things first. It's a frozen frenzy of action tonight around the National Hockey League. All 32 teams in action, 16 games, second time this season. We did that earlier this year, October the 11th. That was a crazy night. We had 110 goals in that particular evening of hockey. You can see here the games are staggered, starting pretty much every 15 minutes. There's one or two exceptions, starting at 6 p.m. Eastern time. And you can see NHL Tonight right here on the NHL Network, live coverage from 7 Eastern to 11:30 p.m. It's the sixth 16-game day in NHL history. And obviously, you could only have 16 games when you have 32 teams, which they now have with the addition of the Kraken a couple of years ago. That's how good my math is, Billy. I don't fool around
I can
here.
tell.
I mean, I know if you have 32, if you have 16 games, you got 32 teams. I was well schooled there at ICS back in Tuckahoe as a little boy. But let me ask, what do you make of all this? It's a lot to take in. Like, you'll be at the game in Boston, but there's a lot going on tonight.
Well, it's impossible as an analyst to feel like you're prepared. That's the one thing, because there's just too many games and you're like, oh, no, I didn't remember that or realize that. But everybody's in action. All the officials are in action too. And so they get stretched very thin perhaps. And probably some guys on what's called two-way contracts for them. NHL, American League guys, they're up. So they'll be working the lines or working the armbands all night long. It's great because there's a ton of action, obviously. It's always an update. I mean, seriously, there's every few minutes there's something going on because of it. So a frenzy is the appropriate word. We went through this last year. It's fun. It's good for the game. That's all I can say. It's good for the game to get to make a Tuesday night the big night of hockey this week.
Yes, and it'll be a big night over at ESPN. They've got a triple header of games starting at 6, and they also have their Frozen Frenzy coverage that goes throughout the evening as well. Now, we're going to break this into small bites because there's a lot to take on here. So this is kind of the first bunch of games. You can see Flyers and Penguins, they kick off that triple header on ESPN at 6 p.m. You also have the Leafs and Flames, 6 o'clock as well. Of course, Leafs fans will be juggling that baseball schedule. They're probably Jays fans as well, so we'll see how that they make out there. But the Flames in town to take on the Leafs. 6:30, the Hurricanes back home, take on the Golden Knights. Their second meeting in about 7 days now, 8 days. And then 6:45 in Buffalo, the Sabres and Blue Jackets. But let's start with the first game and the ESPN game, the Penguins and the Flyers. And how about Sidney Crosby? The Penguins played last night. He had another multi-point game in which he became the 9th player in NHL history to record 1,700 points. He also had a multi-point game, and that was multi-point game number 498, which puts him first on the all-time Penguins list. He just passed Mario in that regard, and you can see he's sneaking up on Mario in the most career points, and he is going to move up the list. And the way he's going this year, he might even get to Yzerman at 1,755. He's off to a great start this year. And, you know, the multi-point game thing, Jaff, I looked at it because I was curious. He's chasing Gordie Howe, who is currently 5th with multi-point games. He has 511 multi-point games. Gordie Howe did. Sid has 498. Wayne Gretzky, not surprisingly, has the record. He's got 824 multi-point games. 55.4% of every game of Gretzky's career. 55% of his games, he had a point or more, and Mario Lemieux is in the same ballpark. In fact, he might even be more. So it's just amazing. But, you know, Sidney Crosby, what a career for Sid. And he's got 7 goals this year. Jeff, he's having a great start.
Yeah, a couple of things jump out. And I was thinking of this earlier today, partner. I'm thrilled that I'm in the, you know, I'm not the young generation by any means anymore, but of the generation to watch all of Sid's career.
Yep.
Because it's been spectacular. But then you bring up those other names, and I looked up some of those too. And I'm so thrilled that, you know, I was a much younger person, but still a young adult watching Gretzky and Lemieux and those guys. And to be fortunate to see that and remembering seeing Gretzky come in, and all of a sudden he had 4 points at the Chicago Stadium. It was like an 8-7 game, and he had 4 of the. Anyways, it's just unbelievable. But to watch Crosby and to do it in many eras that we've seen go from some goals, not so many goals, and then they reopened it, et cetera, and to where now, you know, at his age, what he's doing, doesn't look to me like he's slowing down at all. Doesn't look to me like it's laborious for him at all. That his smarts are still his most extreme talent, and you know, he's talented in other ways, but he is so smart and so efficient with things. Still powerful too, bud. Like he's still powerful for a guy in his late 30s. It's impressive as all heck, and I think he's thrilled that he doesn't have to do it all himself this year. Like so far, Malkin has been the moose that he is. I know that's Rantanen's nickname, but Malkin is another moose out there.
Another big guy.
But how about Mantha and Brazeau and all those guys? And I mean, just crazy how we didn't expect this out of the Penguins early on. We thought Sid would be good. We didn't know how good. He's been great. And the rest of the team, to their credit, has been very good.
Yeah, you got to give Dan Muse a lot of credit as well. He's a first-time NHL head coach, came over as an assistant from the Rangers, he was in Nashville. He worked with Team USA at the World Junior program there and their national team development program. And you're right, the expectations were low. They still have, obviously, Crosby. They have Malkin. They have Letang. They have Carlson. I mean, they have some really high-end players there, but it's a team that's kind of in transition. And give them credit. I'm sure in that room, Billy, they probably looked at it as, hey, it's us against the world. Nobody thinks it's already good. We're trading all these guys, right? You know, they're all going to be out of here. And even Crosby at some point, they'll all be out of here. And instead, they've kind of come together. And the other thing is they've gotten good goaltending from Jari and Sheloff so far. So they're 7-2-1 and right near the top of the division in a Metro that's kind of wide open, I think.
Well, I do think it's wide open. I mean, I think it's pretty clear that Jersey's the best team, at least in my eyes. Okay,
yeah, Jersey and Carolina right there at the top, and then Washington. But, like, there's not a lot of difference after that.
Right. After that, I was going to say, after Jersey and Carolina, after that, there's about 4 teams that can get there. Now, the best part is obvious analysis for the Penguins is that they're winning early. You can't take these points away.
That's
so
right.
They're not having to chase. Does it keep them in it? It might. Now, you mentioned their goaltending. Can Jari, can Shelovs continue the trend? It's been very good. And, you know, what does history say? I mean, Jari's struggled last couple of years, but maybe a tandem with Shelovs is the right type of thing for him. But I also look at those, like those other players, the aforementioned players, like, you know, Brazeau, he came out of nowhere, so to speak, and then finally made it with the Bees.
He's a Bruins guy, so you've watched his career, and, like, did you think that he would be able to provide? I mean, it's early, right? It's a small sample size, and he had his moments in Boston, but he has been a really good fit, seemingly, for the Penguins.
Yeah, he had his moments, but I think the most he ever got was 10-10 for 20, if I remember correctly. That was it. So here's a guy that is averaging, he's a point-a-game player right now. Now, can he get to 50 to 60 points? Holy smokes, would that be an unbelievable year. But that's what he was all about in juniors. New Liskeard, Ontario, way north, way up there. It wasn't known by a lot of people. Gets the opportunity, great story. Not going to go into it here, but eventually Toronto gives him a chance, but then Boston gives him more of a chance. And he's playing with another guy in Mantha, and reclamation is not fair, but they're in a I'm going to show you type mode right now. Like you said, us against the world. And so now, I mean, look at that line with Malkin. Oh my God. Like the size of those guys, the three of them together, you know, it's bigger than backcourts in the NBA for the most part, if not even like power forwards. Yeah. So these are guys that are really big. Can they continue doing this? I don't know. But Mantha and Brazeau are their point guys, right? Yeah. So let's see if they can keep it up. Maybe they're just hot right now, but it's a darn good start.
It's a great opportunity for Brazeau, certainly, to play with a player of the ilk of Evgeny Malkin, who has been motivated in the final year of his contract to show everybody that he is still a guy that can play even at this late stage of his career. And Mantha's a guy that, you know, he was a former first-round draft pick. He was a Red Wings property. Then he's bounced around the last couple of years. So all three of those guys have reasons and different reasons why they need to play well this year, and it's come together for them. We'll see how they do in Philly tonight. The Flyers are 4-1 at home. Urson gets a start in goal for Philly, so we will see how that one goes. But congratulations to Sidney Crosby, 1,700 points in his career and counting. Crosby, he probably gets to 1,800 at some point. I mean, he's playing very, very well. Let's get to this second group of games. Oh, all right. Let's stay in the first group. I'm getting ahead of myself. Why am I getting? We have all these games. All right. Let's go to the Carolina.
You're in a frenzy, Eej.
I'm in a frenzy right now.
You are.
I'm in a frenzy. All right. Carolina's at home tonight. They had the long road trip. They've played very well. These two teams played each other last week, and Vegas was able to get the better of things. You can see the two records. Both teams playing very, very well. Power play for Carolina. I mean, they got to fix that. I mean, that is
shocking.
I mean, when you see those little words at the bottom in yellow, worst in the NHL, right? That's not what you're looking for. So it'll be an interesting game tonight. Vegas is the team that's been traveling on the road now. They went through Florida. They've had their ups and downs as the trip continues. What do you expect tonight out of this one?
Well, this should be a great game. Both these teams like to skate. I've done one Vegas game this year. They have as good a forward group in the NHL as anybody, I think. Obviously, health. Everybody being healthy. I know they've had some injuries. Carolina, they can scoot. They can fly. They're a fantastic team as well, with something to prove still. And they've got injuries like Slavin, that arguably the best all defensive defenseman in the league, still out of the lineup. But both teams getting some good production from regular, like Carolina getting it from Jarvis. Like he's been, regular really production for them each. Been real good. Obviously, we know Eichel in Vegas, but there's more to than that. Even though he actually hasn't scored the last couple of games, it's other guys, whether it's Wild Bill, Carlson, or I mean, they've just got a bevy of great guys up front. I loved last game Lindblom, playing goal last game. I'm saying having a great debut for the Vegas Golden Knights. I think that gives them confidence with obviously the goaltending question marks they have. There's injuries. What do I expect? I'm curious if we get, what is it, the first time in 17 days the Carolina's home? Is it going to be that first game back issue that we've seen, or? I mean, this wasn't a 7-dayer, Bud. This is 17 since they've been home.
Trip.
Or does this almost feel like a road game for them? You know what I mean? Because they're coming back there. I love this matchup. One of my favorite of the night, and that's saying a lot considering we got some great matchups.
No question. And you're right about Carl Lindblom. He played very well in that game. He ended up losing in overtime, but it was his NHL debut. He had his parents there, and, there was a lot of focus on that. But, there's opportunity for a goaltender, for a young goaltender in Vegas right now, because, I mean, Adin Hill is out of the mix. They signed Carter Hart to the PTO. It looks like they'll sign him to a contract, but he cannot play until December the 2nd. So, there's opportunity. We'll see what they do tonight. If it's Schmidt, will likely be back in, but should be a good one in Carolina, the Golden Knights and the Hurricanes. Now, let's take a look at the second piece of this four-piece puzzle.
There you go.
7 o'clock, the more traditional starts. The Panthers, two-time defending champions, at home to take on the Anaheim Ducks. 7:15 in Boston. You got a little more time tonight, Billy. You got a few more minutes. 7:15, Bruins and Islanders, and then at 7:45, the Predators and Lightning in Nashville. Steven Stamkos seeing some old friends. And then at 8 o'clock in Minnesota, the Wild taking on the Jets. So you've got that Boston-New York Islander game, and I want to get your thoughts on Matthew Schaefer because, again, I got to be straightforward. I mean, for me, I would have liked to see him play college this year. I would have liked to see him take his time with his development a little bit more. He only played the 17 games last year in terms of his junior situation because he got injured. But boy, he looks like he's a 6-year veteran. He can just absolutely fly out there. He's brought a lot of life and energy to the UBS Arena for those Islander fans. And he's been off to a great start. You can see the numbers here. Playing over 23 minutes a game as a guy who's barely 18 years of age. Apparently he's going to slide over and play with Tony DeAngelo tonight, so we'll see how that pair works out together. But give me your thoughts on young Matthew Schaefer.
Well, first of all, I'm very much looking forward to watching him in person tonight.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. Second of all, so I've only watched the highlights so far, right?
And there have been a lot of highlights. There have been a lot of highlights so far.
Oh yeah, there've been a ton. He's a presence already, and you can only be a presence when you have real confidence. And this kid has it. He's very beautifully well spoken. He's very engaging. He's mature beyond his years, talking to people and scouts. Talked to one head of scouting who just talked about how, remembering how he got hurt when he was playing for Team Canada.
Yep.
And how the team changed because but he was just a 17-year-old at the time. And then he was out of the lineup and how much impact he had there. It's that presence because he can skate. He can absolutely fly around the ice. He's a great defender. I think, the word is that offensive upside is, it's obviously there. We're seeing the numbers. Is he a Cale Makar number type guy? I don't think so. But you don't have to be to be an elite NHL defenseman. He has all the makings of a guy that will control the game from the back end. And that is what very few players do. We see it and we celebrate it from, whether it's like young kids, like a Hudson, right? Mm-hmm. We talk about what he can do. And obviously Cale Makar and it's in Quinn Hughes. I think he's of that ilk, Eej. I do. Yeah. I think he's there. And I know it's early in his career. But when I watch his confidence on the ice, it oozes through the TV.
Yeah.
And it says something.
Yeah.
It doesn't look lucky. It doesn't look herky-jerky.
He doesn't look out of place at all, and he looks looks like every bit of a star young player on defense in the National Hockey League, the toughest league in the world. So congratulations to him so far. So far, so good. Hopefully he'll keep it up. He's got a magnetic personality. He's one of those guys, as fans get to know him and see him more, I think they'll like him both as a personality off the ice and for what he could do on the ice. So it'll be interesting to see how he continues that growth and development in Boston tonight. And for the Bees, as I don't have to tell you, it hasn't been a good last 8. 1-7 in the last 8 games. The numbers are ugly. And then,
they got beat
up by the Ottawa
Thank you for reminding
Senators.
me.
Yeah, they got beat up by the Senators last night. Everything was going wrong. I think Charlie McAvoy was trying to take a sip of water on the bench, and the water bottle everything was bad.
Yeah, last night was, to me, reminiscent, Eej, of last year after the trade deadline, when the Bruins made multiple major trades and knew that it was going to be tough and it was hard, and it was it had that last night where it just wasn't their thing. Like they couldn't break the puck out, they couldn't do anything last night, and it was toff, man.
Yeah. Couldn't even get a drink. Couldn't even get a little Gatorade.
No, it was a. I watched. And I'm like, okay, come on, it'll get better. And it never got better in the game, like in the sense of, they got the first goal from Morgan Geekie, and he's been on fire lately, which is great to see. But then otherwise, their reads, their structure, their passes, they iced the puck numerous times. They couldn't connect. Very, very frustrating, I'm sure, for them, obviously, to watch. So it was a tough, and Ottawa just feasted on it. They once they got after the 1-0 goal, they reset and they feasted on it, and they took it to the Bruins. And so Bruins have a lot of work to do. They're learning a new system, new style under Marco Sturm, but and there's been a few comments each about from Marco about not everybody on the bus, not everybody there Well, it's time for everybody to be there.
Yeah.
It is. I know we're not really that far into the season, but they're far enough into the season.
Yeah, and hoping to get things kind of back on track tonight if they can. And you're right, the Senators have been feasting. They scored 14 goals in the last 2 games, so they have been well fed. So we'll see how things go for them tonight. I believe they play Chicago. Let's get to the Tampa Bay Lightning and the Nashville Predators. And I want to look at the schedule here for the Lightning because, we've got them on our NHL Network showcase on Sunday afternoon. They're going to be in Utah to take on the Mammoth. Now look at this schedule in Nashville, and they bounce back home to play Dallas, and then it's out on a 3-game. And that's no joke right there. I mean, the Mammoth are playing great hockey, so that's like a late afternoon start there, Eastern time, and then you go to Colorado and you go to Vegas and you come home and you got the Capitals. I mean, they're in a tough stretch right now, and they haven't had a great start.
No, and just real quick, that schedule you saw there, that stretch, that's like not exactly the team to team the Bruins went, but that was like the same exact 3 teams that they played over a 4 or 5 day period. That seems to be the new California swing, right? I mean, like that used to be, and now they're all really good. And it makes it tough, and you're in altitude, et cetera. So that is a very tough stretch there. And I'm going to be very curious, partner, to see those guys, those records. Now we know that Colorado was good at home last year, but I'm really curious to see how those others are. If that's how a lot of the East Coast teams make that trip to see how it goes. It could be tough. I mean, Tampa, they've 2 wins in their last few. They're better. I saw them early in the year. They beat the Bruins by a goal. They still got a lot of talent. I love, Anthony Cirelli's game. Gensel still is incredibly smart still. Actually, I thought maybe the best player on the ice when I saw him a couple of weeks ago, in points was Hagel. And I know now he's got points in, last 2 or 3 games that he's been putting up. So to me, this is still a team that is very deep. I just don't think, as we see Vasilevsky get scored on here, I don't think he's been prime time, world's greatest goaltender, Vasilevsky, just yet.
Not yet.
And I still think they're figuring some things out there. But while they're just above the Bruins with regard to, percentage points, because they played fewer games, it's a team that, I still think they're good. Yeah. I do. I still think they're a real good team. And again, I go back to their high-end guys, and the one that we haven't mentioned is Kucherov. Yeah. And he can be a little enigmatic, or if that's, I guess that's the right term at times, frustrating perhaps, but when he's on, man, you could argue he's the only top 5, top 3 forwards in the world.
Yeah. And remember, he missed a couple of games. He missed 2 of those games this year. And when he's out of the lineup, this is not the Lightning from 2021 when they were loaded through their 3 lines and, extra defensemen. I mean, they've had to make some decisions because of financial considerations with the cap at a different point in the last several years. The cap is going up now, but can't bring, they brought back, Yanni Gourde, but it's hard to bring back everybody. And so it's going to be a challenge for them, and it'll be interesting tonight. Steven Stamkos, the longtime Tampa Bay Lightning star, playing in Nashville now, and they have their own challenges. So interesting night in Nashville for the Tampa Bay Lightning. So that's half of the frenzy. We're going to get to the other half of the frenzy when we come back, and it includes that guy right there, the grade 8, Alex Ovechkin. 1 more goal to get to 900. Talk about Ovi next on First Shift. All right, here's part 3 of this 4-part epic Frozen Frenzy. We looked at the first 2 parts of the schedule. Here is part number 3. 16 games on the docket tonight. 8:15 Blues at home taking on the Red Wings. Those two teams played on Saturday night in Detroit. Blues were leading 4-0 early in the second. The Wings rattled off 6 consecutive goals to complete the 5th 4-goal comeback in their franchise history. So the Blues may be looking for a little payback tonight. Dallas Stars and the Washington Capitals at 8:30. That's game number 2 on that ESPN triple header. The Blackhawks at home hosting the Ottawa Senators tonight. Senators been red hot, 14 goals in the last 2 games. Maybe Spencer Knight can shut them down. And then at 9 o'clock, second of a home-and-home, the New Jersey Devils and the Colorado Avalanche. We had that game 1 in Jersey on Sunday with Jack Hughes scoring the overtime game winner. Here's a note from the Blues. Jake Neighbors will be sidelined with a right leg injury and be reevaluated in 5 weeks. Billy, that's tough news. I mean, he's got 6 goals.
Yeah, 6 goals leads the way.
And, 5 weeks. I mean, the way the schedule is right now, 5 weeks from now, you could be sitting in the bottom.
Yeah, no, and they're already struggling.
Yeah.
They're already struggling to get consistency in St. Louis. That's a shame. He was really matured. He's in that kind of sweet spot now. He's been around for long enough, and he's an imperative or a pertinent player, I should say, for them. So to hear that, reevaluated. That's not expected back. It's reevaluated.
That's right, reevaluated.
In 5 weeks. So tough for the St. Louis Blues and for Jake.
Yeah, hopefully, Jake, hopefully it goes well and you can get back in the lineup sooner than later. But bad news. The good news, Jordan Kyrou scored again last night in that loss, or had a point again last night in that loss to the Penguins. He's got points in 7 straight games. They'll need him to be more of a factor. We mentioned the Dallas Stars and the Washington Capitals playing tonight, 8:30 start, and Alex Ovechkin needs just 1 goal, Billy, to go where no one has ever gone in NHL history, to open up a new club. The 900 goal club. He's sitting at 899. Does he get it tonight against the Stars?
Oof. Sure, why not?
Why not?
What the heck do I know? Why not? Let's say it. We'll say it every day until he gets it.
That's right.
I mean, listen, they being the Caps have something to prove after getting throttled. You mentioned it. Ottawa beat them 7-1 the other night. Their worst home loss at home in 14 years. So
wow.
They have 13 shots on goal, I think, in that game. This guy could usually Ovi's got 10 shots, but he's not getting as many shots this year.
Yeah.
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet. And Strome is out. Dylan Strome is out. Take a look at the lines. Look at that for production.
A shuffle. They did
JD.
the old shuffle bus on the lines here, and you're right. With Strome out, it makes it good to get Dubois, who'd missed a bunch of games earlier, back in there. But Spencer Carberry, boy, he was not happy, and I don't blame him after that game Saturday night.
No, and I don't blame him at all. So you got the pro line. That's like that line in Pitt that we were talking about.
Yeah,
Malkin, they're mammoth.
Yeah.
They're all big, those guys. Okay. But McMichael usually played wing for the most part.
Yeah.
He's played center too, but he's played with Ovi. And so I got this number. In the last 3 years, McMichael and Ovi, 403 minutes together they've played. But if you're into the analytics game, my friend, which I know some people are, they're under 45%. Give me that smart look. Thank you. Appreciate it. Under 45%, all offensive analytics categories together, meaning not as good as you. There you go. Thank you. I appreciate the glad or the glad. You look much smarter than I know you are, but thank you for that. But anyways, let's see. So he's got him back at center because they need to.
All right. So we'll see how that goes. Ovi looking to get to 900 tonight. Of course, that one on ESPN. A little bit later, the Devils and Avalanche, as I said, second of a back-to-back, and the Devils have riding the hottest team in the league. They've won 8 games in a row right now. I thought it was sloppy the other day against the Avalanche, but Jake Allen came up big when he had to. You can see that penalty killing has been nearly perfect. Power play clicking at over 30%, scoring nearly 4 games a night, and they got good news here from our friend Amanda Stein today. Jacob Markstrom is in the Devils starters net in Colorado. Could he be making his return tonight? So we'll keep our eye on that. He did back up on Sunday afternoon, so that would make sense. The timeline is about right, so we'll see if he goes tonight. And, for the Colorado Avalanche, they've got goaltending challenges as well. They've been without Mackenzie Blackwood the entirety of the season thus far. But it looks like, and here's another note from Amanda's all over. She's right on top of these things. Mackenzie Blackwood is on the ice for the Avs morning skate today in Denver. It looks like he is going to back up tonight, so it'll likely be Scott Wedgwood getting the start tonight. He did not play in the game on Sunday. It was Trent Miner who was put on waivers today. That side kind of tells you how things are going. I'm sure he has to clear before he can go back to the minors.
Right.
So good news for both these teams to get the guys they really are counting on to be the lion's share of, to handle the lion's share of the goaltending. Markstrom for the Devils and Blackwood for the Avalanche.
Yeah, the Bruins played Colorado just on Saturday before you had, the game on Sunday, and Wedgwood wasn't great. Now he has been fantastic.
Yeah.
Early part of the season, right? But there's a lot of games in a short period of time.
Right. He hasn't had to do that, really,
starter.
right?
Right. He's not the regular starter. Throughout his career, he's really been a fantastic backup and a very trustworthy guy.
Yep.
But first of all, even starters are going to have some clunkers here and there. But against the Bruins, he had a few that were okay. Went in, amazing save there on John Beecher. But overall, I mean, this is a good get back for him. Get back in the crease for him. Really focused against the New Jersey Devils. Miner had the one great game or two games that he played, and one was great. But now you're hoping, if you're a Colorado Avalanche fan, that Mackenzie Blackwood can start playing with the next game that they have. But this should be a fun game to know how great Jack Hughes has been so far this season. You know how good Necas and McKinnon have been. And I think Lehkonen is a huge factor for this team too.
Yeah.
I do on that top line. But the other guy that I think really is mega important is Valeri Nichushkin. And he's now got 5 goals in his last 6. So if the big man is getting going as well, that provides a ton of depth for this team up front.
And you're right about Wedgwood. I mean, he had played so well at the start of the season and then didn't play well. He got pulled against the Hurricanes on Thursday night at home. Now, they didn't play well in front of him. I thought he would not. I didn't think he would start on Saturday, but they chose to start him. Boston didn't generate a lot of offense, but they managed to win the game. So he'll be back in net tonight. Looks like Blackwood is on his way back. He backs up tonight. He'll maybe be in the next game. We will see. But good for Colorado. And the Avs, by the way, 0-1-3 in their last 4 games. So they need to get kind of back on track. We'll see if the Devils can get to 9 games in a row tonight. Here is the final chunk, the last piece of this frozen frenzy. And 9:30, the Edmonton Oilers are home to take on the Mammoth. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love that. 7 straight wins for the Mammoth as they head to face McDavid. 10 o'clock, the Rangers are in Vancouver. Rangers trying to figure out something right now. It's been a struggle for them. Out west, lost to Calgary the other night. 10:30, the Kraken. We've had a pretty good start to the season, taking on the Montreal Canadiens. And at 11 o'clock, the last part of that ESPN triple header, the LA Kings taking on the San Jose Sharks. And how about those Mammoths? 7 wins in a row, getting a lot of contributions from different places. And finally, these kids are growing up, Billy. They're growing up.
It seems like it. I want to know whoever found that Mammoth sound effect. I didn't know that was great.
I taped that one earlier. That's I do a lot of sound effect work. I don't know if you're aware of that.
I didn't know that. You were like that beatbox guy.
Thank you very much.
There we go.
There it is. There it is. I love it.
Thank you. We assume that's a mammoth. It could be an elephant for all.
Could be all. Hey,
who cares?
Billy, for all you know, it's a mammoth. That's all you know. You have no proof.
Well, it's true. Who needs it? Listen, the mammoth have grown up. They're very tusky, right? I'm trying to bring it back.
The tusks are up.
They are. They're fun. They're fast, and they're skilled. Whether it's Cooley or Schmaltz or
Gunther,
I mean, on the back end,
Keller.
Yeah. I love Gunther. I do. I think he's got such a instinctive way about his game, and he's that kind of that gunslinger, that shooter that can just zip it from anywhere, right?
Yep.
And he's got that calmness to his game. That moment of the big goal with the puck on a stick doesn't bother him at all. So, they've got a lot of offense, but I as they continue to grow, get that middle 6 even a little bit better. That to me is going to be what they'll search for. That and probably adding a D. Then that would be where all of a sudden, okay, we got these skill guys, but we get a little bit bigger, we get a little deeper, and we'll get even a little better. And how about how good Vejmelka's been? That's the other thing too. Karel Vejmelka has been very good this season.
Yeah, you know what else I like, and I've brought it up on a couple of occasions now, is that Vitek Vanacek, they brought him in as kind of the 1B. I think in the past, they've had some situations there where, they've had to lean on Vejmelka for different reasons for long stretches. I think Vitek Vanacek, remember, didn't really play for the Florida Panthers last year, but he was part of their cup-winning team, so he was around that winning. He understands that now. He's been a part of that. He's seen it, and he's been a very good goalie, like a B-level goalie that can come in, give you a good game. He's been able to do that for Utah. It takes some of the pressure off Vejmelka. So I like that addition by the Mammoth. The kids are playing better. And like tonight, it'll be an interesting game because the Oilers, the always slow-starting Oilers, are 4-4-2, and McDavid, I believe, has just 1 goal in 10 games.
Right. Yeah, and very slow. Can they continue to be like that? I don't know. Rhetorically asking, it's worked the last couple of years, but eventually, how's this for analysis, partner? It ain't going to work. It's just not gonna. They're going to have to scramble too much. I think it's time for them to get going. And, I'm sure that Connor McDavid, we know how intense he is. I'm sure this is frustrating for him. He's going to have a stretch where he has 14 points in 4 games. He's just going to. Yeah. That's how good he is. The question is when. But I like this game. I like that last, 4 games panel that you put up there. 3 of the 4 really interest me an awful lot. Yeah. I mean, the Rangers and Van interest me too, but that's kind of I don't know. That's because of the trades and stuff and everything. But overall, that last screen, I mean, Utah and Edmonton is great. LA Kings, San Jose, great. Fun West Coast games coming up.
Yeah, you're right about that. JT Miller going back to Vancouver with the New York Rangers. I believe it's the first time he's gone back there since the trade. I'm not 100% on that, but we can double check on that. And for the Oilers, one other note, Zach Hyman is getting closer to coming back because people forget he is still out of the lineup. And I think when he gets back, that gives them another piece to the puzzle there and an important piece both on and off the ice for the Oilers. So we'll see. Final game of the night out west, the San Jose Sharks taking on the LA Kings. In the last 4 games, Sharks 2-2. They had started the season. They were looking for a win. They came to Madison Square Garden and got one in overtime, played well, got another overtime win against the Minnesota Wild. Mac Celebrini just lighted up. He was the first star of the week, and great to see for him. And meanwhile, the LA Kings have kind of righted the ship a little bit. They got Kopitar back now, 3-0-1 in their last 4 games. So I think this one has the potential to be a fun one to watch tonight as well.
I do too. I do, given that both teams are better. Both teams, and there's, it's California, so somewhat there's a rivalry there. Yeah. And to me, the excitement of Macklin Celebrini and Will Smith, and I know they've got a long way to go still in San Jose, but I watched Macklin for his year at BU, and I was just so impressed by his maturity, by his ability to be so strong physically and yet just 17 years old, playing against 23, 24-year-old in college, and how heavy of a shot. Gosh, I'll never forget one shot I watched, a one-timer. It was in and out of the net so fast. It was, as we already said, as good as any NHL shot I've seen. So to watch him rise and to be, Mr. Shark right now, again, along with Will Smith, very different type player. A lot of fun. Adrian Kempe with LA. Get him going. Get the LA Kings. We need the LA Kings going. It's just, you do. It's a good vibe when the big West Coast team is going as well. So happy to see them going. I thought they were better than they were. They're a little older though. This is a big push for them this year each. And we all know that Kempe, his contract's up. What do they do with them there? So they got a lot of stuff going on, but the last 4, pretty good. Yeah, they have played much better of late, and Kopitar being back is a big plus. So should be good. And how about William Eklund, by the way, playing very well for the San Jose Sharks. Yeah, you're right. Here's a look at the Kings line combos with Kopitar in there, right? It sets everybody in a better spot. Byfield's the 2, Deno's the 3, Turcotte's the 4. Corey Perry has come back, and he has chipped in a couple of goals as well. So this looks like a more complete lineup with your big dog at the top of the list there. And we talk about the importance of depth. And, we were just talking about it with Utah, right? Like, you mentioned Corey Perry, and now you've got him and Yoel Armia on that fourth line. They're both right, Chuck, but they're both big. They're both veterans. They've been through the battles, and it's important. And I did a double take seeing Corey the other night playing, and I had to remember I hadn't seen him. and I did a double take. I'm like, oh yeah, there he is again. And he's just going to do Corey Perry things, and
yes, he is.
Somehow, some way, he's just going to find a way to be so effective at those things.
Yeah. Hey, listen, he's hanging in there, and glad to see him back in the lineup. Had that preseason injury that forced him to miss the first couple weeks of the season. Hey, last thing, Billy. You mentioned the Miller thing, and it is JT Miller's first return to Vancouver since the big trade last year. What do you think the reception is going to be in Vancouver for Miller? I think generally speaking, I think the fans will be excited to see him, but I'm not 100% sure because the situation was so strange.
Yeah, I think it's, I think it's nice, but not long-time ovation.
Nice.
No, yeah. I don't see that. I do. I think, this team, it's gotten pretty soap drama, like soap opera type thing out there. And it's it can get tiring, right? And here's the thing, fans had to pick sides, right, in this. So I don't know, since I don't live out there, but there's definitely going to be, I think it's going to be pretty nice. I don't think it's going to be long-term standing ovation nice that he's back. I also don't think he was out. How many years was he out there? I don't have it.
A couple, for the 3 or 4 years, 5 years. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And
so it was nice.
Had some good,
but it wasn't like a Marchand.
Yeah, no. It's not like that. 6 years for him out there. Pettersson, 3 goals, 5 assists, 8 points this year. So it'll be interesting to watch if Mr. Miller and Mr. Pettersson maybe bump into each other once or twice tonight. We'll see.
Might happen.
Yes, it could. JD is back at it with the parlay. It's been a tough start to the season. What has he got this week? Parlay is next on First Shift. It's time for the Top Line Parlay presented by DraftKings Sportsbook. And the start of the season, much like his beloved Bruins, hasn't gone all that well. 0-3, -3 units. But JD Lindberg, tonight is your night. It's a frenzy. You have a lot of choices. Tonight is your night to shine and make some money for the Shifties.
Sometimes it can be hard when you got more options, and you know what? I'm going to be playing with an edge tonight because I don't appreciate the shot you took at the Bruins there. That was uncalled for.
Well, I'm just trying to, I didn't bring up the Red Sox or anybody else.
Yeah, that's true. All right, hey, enough of this. We're tight on time here. 16 games. To the big board, please, Finn.
Right.
We will not see the Bruins in this edition of the parlay, but we will see another team that wears black and gold. How about the Pittsburgh Penguins? Plus 0.05 first period puck line. So we just need the Pens to be tied or leading after 1. You can see the first period statistics this season. Flyers are a low event first period team, which we like. We like that when we got a team catching half a puck on the road. So Penguins leading off the parlay.
What do you feel? Are you worried about that 10 goal, that 10 allowed?
Yeah, a little worried, but you know what? We're hoping for a low event.
Life is full of risk. All right.
Exactly. You know what I'm not worried about? Connor McDavid finding the back of the net again. He came through in the parlay last week. We like it again. Here he is against Utah. 2 goals in 3 games. Small sample size, but hard to bet against 97, especially when he came through a week ago. Back to the big board for one more leg. You guys were just talking about this one out in Vancouver. JT Miller back against his former club. We like him for 2 points or more.
Wow.
He loves playing at Rogers Arena. Fenn, show him fun too here. 82 goals, 164 assists in 216 career games at Rogers Arena.
Wow.
So you guys were talking a little bit about what his reception might be. Fenn, let's just see the big board one more time so we can see the total odds. It's a plus 1216 parlay.
Nice.
A $10 bet to pay you $131.60. That would pay for a couple extra parlays. But fellas, real quick here, what do you think about Miller, his performance back in Vancouver, Jeff?
Billy.
Well, his performance there was pretty darn good. You know, he came through.
More than a point a game. He was good.
More than a point. How's that again for analysis? Pretty darn good. Now maybe that will even help with his reception. Hey, real quick, Eads, just to let you know, this might make our guy JD happy. The Bruins have activated Hampus Lindholm off IR, so he's coming. It sounds like they sent down Michael Callahan. They activated him. That means he should be in the lineup tonight.
All right, there you go. A little updated news from Billy Jaffe
Trying to give
about the
JD
Bruins.
a little something.
Operative word should, Billy.
Little something to be happy about. All right, JD, good luck tonight. But you're not going anywhere. When we come back, JD, you will be back with us to kind of go through some overs and unders for a busy night. A frenzy of a night around the National Hockey League. That's next on First Shift.
DraftKings Sportsbook is an official sports betting partner of the NHL. And this week, new customers can bet $5 and get $300 in bonus bets if your bet wins. Download the app and use promo code FLY when you sign up. DraftKings Sportsbook. The crown is yours.
All right, it's time for some over-unders, everybody. Bring in my pal, J.D. Lindbergh. J.D., you're going to give us a number, and we're going to decide if it should be over or under.
Exactly. Final 90 seconds of the show. So this is going to be a quick one, Mikey.
Okay.
Let's go. Right to the big board here. Goals scored. Most that we have ever seen on a 16-game day, 110. We're setting the number at 109.5. EJ, over or under?
I got to go under right now. I mean, they only had 110 last time, so I'm not going to be bold. I'll say a little under that.
Go over. Over. It's over. I'm taking the over.
All right.
They're going to score. We're going to have 9. We're going to have 8 goals average.
Okay. Well, that would be cool. That would be a frenzy. No
My
question.
math stinks. I can't even do 16 times 8 and whatever. No time for math. Get us back to the over or under. Games going past regulation. Most that we've ever had on a 16-game day, 5. That seems light. However, our friends in the desert, they've set the number at 4.5. Jaff, over under 4.5 games to go past regulation.
Over. I'm going to go over. I'm going to say we're going to get to 6.
All right.
Say that.
Well, he even gives you an actual number. I am just going to say over as well because I'd be a liar. I've been saying this league is so hard. It's the parity. So I got to think there's going to be a lot of close games. I'll go over.
20 seconds. Yep. What's the bigger number, fellas? Hat tricks or goalie shutouts tonight? EJ, go.
Hat tricks, baby. Jeff.
Hat tricks, JD. That's the same. I got the same. Hat tricks.
So there you go. All right, we're out of time. NHL Now is next. Enjoy the frenzy, everybody.